On YouTube, with Tom and Jerry, and with this music.
So, I want to talk more specific about the form of music and dance. Okay? So, in the background, I asked for specifically this equipment. Could you explain what that is, and maybe they could do some a cappella, and so we can really focus and hear it?
I just, now that you put up this question, I remember a movie, I think it was, I can't remember the title, it doesn't matter. There was a line, talking about music is like dancing for architecture. And that's what I feel now.
That's why you're a translator.
But that's why, so about the pergető, you were asking?
Explain what it is, and maybe explain by listening to it more individually, or can they do that without this?
Absolutely, yeah. I'll just translate it. Most kérdezték, hogy mondjuk el, hogy milyen is a pergetés, és ugye ez hogyan épül fel, és akkor erre mondtam, hogy hát erről beszélni olyan, mint hogyha az építészetről táncolni kéne, tehát hogy beszélni erről nehéz, de hogy próbáljuk meg mégis, de ebben tényleg segíts, mert nem tudom.
Nem tudom, ha ők énekelnek, mit tudom én, a magyar népdalban, mikor van az, hogy éhaj, csuhaj, például mi nálunk a pergetés ezt helyettesíti. Nem éhaj, csuhajozunk, meg jajaj, hanem inkább lepergetjük a nótát.
Like basics of this pergető, the beatbox or scatting or pergetés as we say in Hungarian. The basics of this is if you know Hungarian folk music and you have the ihaja, csuhaja, sajahaj thing, this is the same. So far that's all we can say. It's kind of expressing just a feeling. It has no meaning. It's just like just a sound. It's just words without no meaning. But it's much faster.
But isn't it also an imitation of percussion instruments?
And it's an imitation. Could be. I could say it's a reply for the kanna, for the churn.
Okay.
Because actually, when he's playing the churn, that's giving a very like specific rhythm, and then he's like kind of coloring it up and making adding more color to it with his voice.
We have more samples.
Belki mutatsz először csak annyit, hogy mert ugye azt mondtuk, hogy végül is a hangoddal te utánzol egy hangszert végül is, tehát amellett, hogy...
Hát igen.
És hogy mutat meg először csak a kannát, hogy csak kannáz egy kicsit, és utána lépjél be egy nagyon alapvető szájvölgő dologgal. That's the basic. And I was thinking, when he started, I was thinking maybe I should tell him to stop the percussion and just do the beatbox. And we can try it, but it's really hard. Like even when we have a sound check, and when he has to check his microphone vocal, he needs to go along with his hands. It's pretty hard to separate it. I was just thinking about this. So it's almost like he's one instrument like this with the churn and his voice.
Just to ask, is that like maybe common for their area or something like that? Because I heard, I don't know, is it Romano drum or something? They have a guy who sounds almost the same. I said, did they get a guy from their band? Did he switch the band or something? Because is it common for?
Azt mondja, hogy mert hogy ez most valami is kimondottan szabolcs-szatmári dolog, ahogy ő csinálja, mert ő az Andodromban ugyanígy hallotta őket szájbőgőzni, akkor most ő utánozza Brekit, vagy Breki utánozza őt?
A cigányoknál a szájbőgő az egy, de Breki különleges, mert általában az van, hogy tavad pihennek, Pisti meg, amit a gőzgép elindul, és akkor...
He's saying, this is a common thing. In the Hungarian gypsy music, they have it, and every band does it, but not the same way. Because if you just listen carefully, usually, like as the example you said, Andodrom or Romano drum, they have a quite basic pattern, which goes even like stibip, stabap, stibo.
Yeah.
Sometimes they just they just wait and then they just do the churn. But Breki, he's doing it like as he said, like a steam machine, like a steaming steam train. Like it's really like full power, and he's changing. You can listen later. He's changing a bit this, and he's adding, and that's the most special thing I think. He is adding some text with lyrics, which I've never heard before. He is making sense at some parts, and he's putting in like one sentence, like a couple of words which rhyme.
Right.
And usually they're really funny, actually.
So he actually knows what he's doing.
And he really knows what he's doing at that time.
They have one song, I think, where they just do that stuff with voices. There's no words, and
we can do it later. We can listen to it later.
Maybe I'm getting. There's a theory, because of those of us who try to listen to a lot of this, that being Romani, and they come from originally the people came from northern India. There, to my ear, there is reminiscent sounds there with the Perkatesh to the vocalization played against tabla in India, and I just. Is that way too academic to discuss?
We can turn it practical because we've been to India.
Yeah, and I mean, is there a connection there, or is it just a coincidence? And if anybody else has an opinion on that.
Yeah, I'd be very curious because Parno has been to India last October, and for this reason, we were invited by a festival in order to trying to find connection between the European gypsy music and its supposed roots in Rajasthan. And we've been there only for 2 weeks, and we've met 4 different communities, tribes, who were playing, you can't say gypsy music, but like, it's really difficult, it's a difficult issue, but we try to find people there, and musicians. And I have to ask Józsi what his experience was finding anything in common. Indiában mennyire éreztetek ti arra rá, hogy esetleg ez onnan jöhet? Tehát konkrétan a pergetés, mert ő azt mondta most, Dan, hogy amikor tablán játszanak, és néha kísérik ezt hanggal, amit még nem nagyon hallottunk egyébként, de hogy vajon... No. They didn't feel any connection.
That's an answer too.
To this genealogy, a magyar cigányok manapsága roma, vagy szinti, vagy mi is a történelmi különbség?
A magyar cigányok és a cigányok.
We need a question from
the Hungarian whatever, cigány. I don't want to translate this. Are they now called Roma? Are they called Sinti? And what is the historical specificity to that?
Well, this is a completely different...
It is. It's a common question. What do they prefer to be called?
They don't care.
Okay.
Actually, we between each other and they themselves, they just call themselves Cigány, Gypsy. It doesn't matter. This thing saying Cigány or Roma, this is a official thing. Like it's kind of like the state trying to be not discriminating.
Yeah, political
so they say
correct
Roma.
stuff.
Roma means man in Romani language. So it's just a question of trying to be politically correct. Thank you.
And what about Sinti?
Sinti is the electric piano for me.
Some people, that's also the Gypsy tribe.
Yes.
Sinti is one as
Sintinek nevezték.
I think they're Western European.
Or maybe it could be the Western European expression.
Yeah.
But Cigan is a Greek origin word.
Again.
It's the oldest word that we can know from Greek
A
language.
cigány az egy görög eredetű szó. Cigány, most erről beszélünk, hogy cigánynak, vagy romának, vagy minek hívod. A roma szó az cigányról azt jelenti, hogy ember, és akkor ezt használod, de hogyha azt mondod, hogy cigány, az meg egy görög eredetű szó, és azt mondtam, hogy nektek tök mindegy, hogy
Igen. Amit
tudnak. Okay. Yeah,